Hello YouTube, I am Vince White. I am an employment attorney, and normally on this channel we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. Don't mind my mess behind me. I'm packing for Miami for a conference for employment attorneys. Today we are not answering questions. No, today we are talking about layoffs, which we have to cover on this channel. Excuse me. By now, I'm sure you're all aware, Facebook, it appears to be doing, well, I should say Meta appears to be doing another round of 10,000 layoffs. I believe, if I recall correctly, they already performed 11,000 layoffs, a rather large reduction in force last fall, and now they're doing a fresh 10,000. And this is, of course, not good for the employees of Meta. It's also, I think, very much not good for New York City. And I did not expect this, but it turns out that's a very emotional topic. I was having a casual chat with someone talking about this layoff, and I was like, oh, yeah, and it's going to be especially rough for New York. And, well, that individual ended up screaming at me. It's cool. I think we're still friendly. Saying that I had no way to know that Facebook would be doing layoffs in New York. I was like, well, it's 10,000 employees, and Facebook has, I mean, let's look it up here. They have 2.2 million square feet of commercial space in New York City. 2.2 million square feet, which is a huge percentage of the leased space in New York City. If I remember correctly, either 48% or 52% of the space in New York, the office space in New York, is actually currently leased, which is, of course, quite low. And of that leased space, 2.2 million square feet of it is leased by Facebook. Now, Facebook has, since leasing that space, will have reduced its employee count by 21,000 employees. And it's worth noting that New York City is an exceptionally poor place to develop tech because your employees are subject to one of the highest tax burdens in the nation. They are subject to, obviously, federal taxes. Everywhere you go, you can't get away from the tax man. But in New York, they have the added burden of very high tax on the state level, the New York state level, and the New York City income tax, which is a local city tax, which many people are not aware of unless they're actually subject to it, right? Definitely met people who moved to New York City and like, hold on, wait, what? What is this? Why am I earning so much less? Because they didn't fully understand that was the case. So it can be really difficult to lure tech workers and very talented tech workers who tend to understand things like math and taxes to work in a city where they earn less, right? They can make the exact same, like in, let's call it Texas, Florida, New Hampshire, as they do in New York, but their take home would be significantly higher, of course, right? So many of them are not thrilled with that. And so I think Facebook and Meta, we'll call it Meta, we'll get it right, has probably discovered that. And they, of course, took on their space in 2020. That was a debacle. Hasn't gone well. I think we had a thing called COVID come through. And the world began remote working. So it turns out that all the people who were working in New York didn't want to stay. They all left. And tech companies are having a hell of a time getting them back to work. I mean, even New York City itself, the New York City government can't get its employees to go back to work. Mayor Adams has caved in and is giving in to remote work demands. So you would think that the people working for New York City would at least like living in New York City. People working for big tech didn't even like that. They were eager to get out, and they are fighting tooth and nail not to return. And so when I say that I think these massive layoffs from Facebook will impact New York City, I'm not saying that because I have a vendetta against New York City. I think New York City is very poorly run since Mayor Bloomberg, but I'm not saying Mayor Bloomberg was a great guy. Trust me, not saying that. But I am saying he was an adult who knew how to run things. as opposed to the mayor who was in between, right? The gentleman who took over from Mayor Bloomberg. Ooh. Leaves a mark. It's sad to see what he did to New York, right? So I think this is going to be, for Facebook, a massive, massive blow to their needs for office space in New York. And I think they're going to very quickly and very rapidly get rid of that space in New York. I really hope my cough goes away before I go to Miami. My goodness. And I'm sorry if that frustrates you. That is not my intent. I don't mean to make the New York diehards angry. It's just my read on the situation. And I hope the Meta employees will be okay. Like and subscribe. Helps me to help more people just like you.